I know it's unusual in this day and age to devote your life to something spiritual.
Because as you know, women are strictly forbidden from performing exorcism.
Female surgeons were once unthinkable. Somebody had to be the first.
Oh man, Pray for the Devil was definitely one of those traditional exorcist, demon devil, you need to let me in, but I'm gonna get you out movies. I mean, I'm just so tired of it. You know, I'm so tired of demon possessions. And I'm so tired of all these movies that are trying to make people like either follow God or think that religion is no big deal or think that, you know, it's always hard to find meaning in spiritual meaning or any of this bullshit. It's just like, man, you know, I like the mythology route more, you know, I like the Wendigos and the werewolves and dare I say it, you know, the vampires or any other fucking monster than like demons. I'm demoned out, I'm deviled out, I don't care anymore. And the funniest part about this film is the fact that demon possessions are just a normal thing. They just happen on the daily, and sometimes people get possessed and they do. And it's just, they deal with it there. And I'm assuming, I forget if they're at like the Vatican, but they're at some like crazy school, but they have like an underground fucking whole area, research area that have people contained there who are said to be possessed. I mean, it's a very ridiculous concept to just kind of throw at you, but it's like given everything that's happened. I mean, all the Conjuring movies, all the like Paranormal Activity movies. I mean, there's just so much devil demon shit out there that this was like so boring. It was so not very good. And I'm just saying that on the perspective of, again, there's been so many demon movies, there's been so many possession movies. You could probably find one that's infinitely greater and more thrilling than this film. So the film starts out with this character, Sister Anne, who's played by Jacqueline Byers. Never seen her in anything, so, you know, all I could say is she totally reminded me of Phoebe Bridgers, like a mix between Phoebe Bridgers and the guy for Jesse Eisenberg when he was in Batman vs. Superman. And apparently she's going to become like the first female exorcist because her mom was like possessed, and so she's like, you know what, I got to save those who are dealing with possessions, and I guess she becomes a nun. Like, I suppose like you were probably in a foster care system or like something, and then, you know, you being in the church or around the church and helping with those organizations, and then you just grew up near religion or near the church. But it's like, man, I'm surprised they didn't make her some like stuck up character who was like super defiant and stuff. I mean, she was, I guess, because she goes against the church, but still, like, she was a pretty normal person who just had a traumatic childhood, and then I guess ended up going into trying to become an exorcist or joining the priesthood. But so she goes, and you find out that pretty much there's this little girl who's possessed, and she's trying to help the little girl with her possession. And I'm just going to get into spoilers because, again, the movie, I really didn't care for the movie. I was just like, man, and I really wanted to see it because of the trailer, because of the whole, like, hair going in the girl's mouth. But I will say that scene when the girl has the hair going in her mouth and stuff, it was so cheesy because right after they end up trying to pull the fucking hair out of her throat because she's obviously possessed, and they show, like, a hand come out of her mouth, like, the very next scene is them, like, chilling, like, smoking a cigarette, like, man, yeah, exorcisms, they're just crazy, huh? And it's just like, what the fuck? Shouldn't you be, like, hardcore? Like, I don't know, you should be getting some priests in there, and you should be like dipping holy water on this chick, make a bathtub with some holy water, dunk the little girl's head in there. Like, there's a lot you should be doing right now besides like going and just sitting down. But anyway, you find out that the girl is actually the main character's daughter. So, you know, back in the day when her mom was like super abusive to her as a child, her mom was possessed. She assumes that her mother was possessed. I mean, you don't know if she really was, but obviously she was truly demented and disturbed because she would beat her daughter and then like love her daughter and then beat her and then say the voices made her do it. So it's like she could easily just be fucking crazy. And then after she ends up getting older, the little girl, when she ends up getting older into like a teen, she ends up having a kid. So she ends up getting pregnant and ends up having this child and gives the child up, right? She has to give it to adoption or whatever because she can't take care of the child. She can't, you know, protect the child. She can't, you know, financially support the child, all that shit. So she gets rid of the child, and then apparently this demon that was in her mom fucking decades ago finds her daughter, gets into her daughter, and then her daughter ends up showing up at this underground Vatican exorcism school dungeon, and or facility, and ends up they end up having a dungeon too, but they, ends up trying to get the main character, like the demon is trying to get the main character through the daughter. But it is just so like over the top, like, all right, we get it. I'm just kind of like bored of this. Like nothing really has happened. There's nothing really like that is impacting like what happened with her mom. It's pretty much like, yeah, her mom was fucked and beat her and then made her give up her child. And now, you know what? Her child's safe, and like at least she knows that her child is alive. But then at the end of the movie, or the climax of the movie, which is like I was saying, the funniest part, when she's in like a priest uniform and then she has her hair down and it's just like, oh wow, yeah, you're that androgynous priest. I mean, I'm surprised they didn't make Elliot. I'm surprised they didn't give Elliot Page this role. This would have been the perfect role for, Elliot Page, being that he could have been a female, and then at the end of the movie, transitioning into a male in the lines of priesthood, because there's never been a female exorcist except for like 17 centuries ago or some shit. So it's like, well, there was once one female exorcist, but that's besides the point. And so she's just in this full exorcism garb, and then she ends up letting the demon into her from her daughter to like save her daughter. But in reality, I guess she like sacrificed herself for her daughter. So sacrifice is always like a way to get to heaven and fight the demons. And like she ends up realizing that, she loves her daughter and she misses her daughter and she doesn't want to hurt her daughter. So she ends up fighting the demon and killing the demon. And she does fall and dunk herself into a pool of holy water, which, yes, that of course would definitely kill a demon, which is why I was saying, why didn't they do that in the beginning when they had the girl? They could have just made a bath, dunked the girl in there, submerged her for about like 2 minutes, maybe, obviously she wouldn't die because the demon would die first, and then her body would regain the consciousness, and hopefully they can do the CPR and get the water out and she'd be all right. But nah, they didn't think of that. But at the very end, she fucking dunks herself into a big ass pool of holy water, and it's just like, all right, girl, all right, fine. You're like Mrs. the best exorcist ever. There's another exorcist mid-movie with one of the other main characters, but I'll let you watch the movie and then see that part, because it is pretty freaky. And again, it just shows like, wow, exorcisms are just a thing. And there's no big deal. Like, it's just an exorcism. Yeah, it's just an exorcism. I need you to help me do an exorcism. You're going to go against the church, and we're not going to tell the church, and then the church may get angry, but like, I need your help because you are the one. You are the ghost whisperer. You are the demon whisperer woman. I mean, it just, they should have called it demon whisper. Like literally, it was ridiculous. But Pray for the Devil, definitely, oh gosh, if you're into that, like, oh my God, demons, like, I guess you'll like it, but it's just like, or if you have a kid, or you thinking of having kids, I guess it's a good movie for like the moms, 2022 moms that could be like, oh my God, if I had to give my kid up, it'd be so horrible if a demon took over them and came back and tried to kill me. Yeah, I don't know. I was very let down. God damn it. I mean, shit, Black Panther comes out in like a week, right? Oh, man. Wakanda forever, everybody. Let's see what happens next. But this has been Ghost and Craig. Thank you so much, and I'll catch you guys later.